our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and we have wonderful guests. And I am very delighted to have with me today Miss Kimberly Palm, and she has messages from Yeshua that are very recent and not been on any other show. We're not going to interrupt her while she goes through it at all, but may take questions afterwards. So let me bring her on. Welcome, Kimberly.
Hi, Gail. Thank you for having me back on again. I'm wearing my Yeshua shirt today.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It says Yeshua, King of Kings, Lord of Lords on my shirt.
Awesome.
Anyways.
Nice. Did you have that made or did you just find that somewhere?
No, I found it. I ordered it online.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I have a couple of them, different shirts that say Yeshua on them.
Oh, that's nice. Well, apparently he's been talking to you lately and had some rather profound things to say, I'm sure.
Oh God, he gave me, so I got to tell you all this. This just blows me away. Every time I have a conversation with him, I tell myself, okay, I'm on a tight schedule and I have 5 minutes to have a conversation with him. 3 hours later, I come out and I'm like, what the hell? 3 hours went by. It's almost like I'm sucked into I can't explain it, but when I'm conversing with him, it's taken out of Earth time. And when it's like I'm removed from Earth or something temporarily. And then when I'm put back in, it's hours later. And I had planned, but when I was chatting with him, it felt like it was 5 minutes. So it could feel like a 5 minute conversation, but hours pass by, and I don't understand like why or how. And I think it's something to do with the fact that he's not in our time like we are. He's in a different time, and so there's like a conflict going on there. But it felt like I was actually only talking to him for maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, something like that. And then I came back in and looked at my clock and go, oh my God, it was like 3.5 hours went by. Just insane.
I gotta let my puppy in. Hang on a second. Hopefully there won't be a pest.
So I took a lot of notes. So I've had 2 conversations with him over the last few days. I've not shared this on anybody's channel except yours. I'm only sharing it here. I have not been doing videos on my own channel much because I've been having a lot of jaw pain, and when I talk, it was hurting. Today I'm better, I'm fine, but it was hurting a lot when I was trying to talk, so I wasn't doing a lot of talking to anybody anywhere anyhow. But I wrote all these notes. So I talked to him 2 days in a row about the Pope situation and the Katy Perry and all the Barbie doll, the what do you want to call the housewives of Beverly Hills or Barbie dolls or whatever the hell they were going up into space with their Baphomet suits on, and talked about that with him. Just a lot of different things that I talked about with him. So do you want me to just get into it?
Yeah, go ahead. Take it away. Take it away. Everybody's waiting in bated breath here. We want to hear what he had to say.
Okay, so first let's go back in time before the Pope bid it to Katy Perry and crew. That was basically a Luciferian ritual that they did. It was filmed in a studio. They never even went up in any rocket. They made that rocket look like a giant dildo, and it looked like a vibrating dildo is what it looked like. And because they sexualize everything, because they're perverted psychopaths who pray to Satan, Lucifer, and Baphomet, and that's what they do. So, and Jeff Bezos is like one of the supreme dark witches in the black cult. So you got that. So, anyway, so that was just all a Luciferian ritual, and they had Baphomet symbol on their suit. The blue suit had a meaning too. I don't know what it was. I didn't get into that with him. I just know that it was all filmed in a studio, and it was a bunch of bullshit, and it was all a giant Luciferian ritual, especially when she held up. Yeshua said, "Did you notice Kimberly the butterfly?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "That's MK Ultra."
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, he explained that to me, that the butterfly was MK Ultra, you know. But yeah, it was all a satanic ritual. He also told me that Katy Perry is actually John Benet Ramsey.
Wow.
Yeah, he said she was sold by her family, who were, you know, Masonic people. She was sold to the Illuminati to be groomed as a high priestess in the dark cult. She's one of the top high priestesses. And I said, how many high priestesses are there of these like famous people and whatnot? He said there's 33 total. And he went, yeah. And I know who some of them are. You all know who some of them are. I'm not going to go over names on here because I don't need defamation of character lawsuits and all that kind of thing. So I'm not going to tell everybody who they are, but I'll be honest, you all know who they all are. You already kind of have it figured. Everybody who is even halfway awake has it figured out already. You know, they're all people you know. They're all famous. It's mostly celebrities and singers. There's some politicians' wives involved. There's some, what do you want? Some of them are royalty. Some of them are royals. Some of them are celebs, you know, but you guys know who they all are already. So I don't really need to tell you, you know. So anyways, I had seen stuff on the internet where people were saying that Katy Perry was John Benet Ramsey. And I'm like, I don't understand how that's possible. I went in and I did research and I looked at her features, comparing them from when she was little to now. And I was like, oh shit, she really does look like that. So then I asked Yeshua, I said, Yeshua, is Katy Perry John Benet Ramsey? And he said, yes. And I'm like, I thought she was dead. And, you know, you have to understand or understand that the police that reported all that were involved in all this as well. They're all, you know,
corrupt.
Everybody's corrupt. The judges, the police, you know, they're all corrupt, right? And so there's a lot of people involved in that whole thing. Was there a body? There might have been an actual body. They might have taken some little girl who looked similar to her and killed her, you know, because they do those ritual things where they they rape and kill the children as a ritual, you know, satanic thing. So they probably did that. But the big thing is that she was sold by her parents to the Illuminati to be groomed to be this high priestess in their cult. So that just, you know, it blows me away. Unfortunately, she will be going to a place when you guys all hear today, the bomb I'm going to drop on you, it's going to blow your mind about where all these people are going, because I blew my mind. I'll be honest with you all the information he shared with me totally blew my mind. A lot of it just, I was like, what I kept asking him over and I'm like, what, are you serious? I think I said, are you serious, like 50 times to him. Like, I couldn't even believe it. Okay, so let's go forwards now to the Pope. The real Pope was actually executed in 2018. They replaced him with an actor. A bunch of the cardinals were executed in 2020 when they took the gold. They filled 600 military jumbo jets or whatever full of gold that they took from the Vatican. We all know about this, but the first thing Yeshua said out of his mouth was, when I said, what's up with the Pope thing? And he said, it's all optics, quote unquote. He said, it's all optics, because they used all these numbers. Like the age he died at was 88, which also had something in common with, guess what? Trump is 88. Trump is 88 in gematria. Okay. So, and then they took him out on the anniversary of the city of Rome, their anniversary, and on Easter. And it was all planned this way to exit him on that day, because it was kind of like because the white hats did that. The white hats did that as an in your face to the dark cult, because the dark cult lives to use their gematria and all of their bullshit that they do. JD Vance showed up there wearing a gold tie right before he was taken out to show everybody we got the gold. It's the golden age. It represents, Yeshua said it represented a lot of things with the tie. He said it represented the start of the golden age, the fact that we have the gold, and a lot of things. But it was also an indicator that they were about to exit him. I said, how did they kill him when they took him out? And he said, poison.
I heard that.
Yeah. And there are several one or two actors that have been playing the Pope. They wear masks. A lot of them wear masks. Some of them look like him. There's a famous actor who looks exactly like him. People have been saying for years that he looks exactly like him. He probably might have been one of the people who was playing the Pope. So this is what Yeshua said, word for word. I wrote his words down. He said, the Pope actor, unfortunately, that replaced the original Pope that was killed, the Pope actor was a high-level Satanist working for the deep state. So even the one who replaced him was bad. Okay? It was not good. All right? He was working for the deep state because they had to have a Pope in there running the show, And then he said he was actually, quote unquote, he was actually given poison and killed. That's the actor. The actor's gone. He was poisoned. Okay. Did it on Easter to show, this is what Yeshua said. He said, they did this on Easter to show the ending of the satanic control system. As of Easter Sunday, it is the end or the death of the satanic rule on planet Earth. This is what he said. This is what he said. He said, as of Easter, it's the end or the death. He called it the death. You know how Easter is about the death and resurrection? He said, it is the death of the satanic rule on Earth. It is the resurrection of the new golden age. And that is the gold tie. Okay. And somebody said poison means fish in French, the poison of the mind, because it subjugate. Yeah, very good comment. All right, next. Let's see. Let me go forward.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I want to go back to the satanic priestesses thing with the 33. I forgot that I had asked Yeshua, how do they choose these 33 satanic priestesses that run the dark cult? How do they choose them? And he said that they are chosen by their satanic powers when they are born. They are actually tested for this. Yeah, they are actually tested for this. They test them upon birth. They're actually raised, the parents that give birth to them are already in the cult. They're already part of the satanic cult. And then when they go to have a baby and they offer it up to be a priestess or whatever, they come in and they do some sort of testing to see how powerful the lush or energy or whatever is of this baby. It has to do with their power, their satanic power, and they're tested. And they've actually showed us this in sci-fi horror movies. This has been shown on TV before. Yeshua pointed it out that this has already been shown to the public that they do this. It's in a couple different movies and TV shows. But they test them when they're babies. And the other thing, I know this is kind of out of sorts. I had asked, what percentage of the men on Earth are pedophiles? Because it just seems rampant with the pedophilia. And he said, and this was just disturbing to me, this was one of my moments, 60% of men on planet Earth are pedophiles, or they're involved with helping or selling children to pedophiles.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, they're either selling the kids to the pedos, or they are pedos, or they watch child porn on the internet. Like they jack off to child porn on the internet.
That is so
So
sick.
it's, yeah, 60% of men. So only 40% of men have virtue and value and high values. The rest of them are all sick, disgusting, and twisted. That is why Yeshua keeps saying after the purification event, there's only going to be 25 to 30% of the population left on the planet. 70 to 75% of the population are disgusting individuals. It's really, really pathetic. Yeah, they've all been, and I asked him why, and he said, well, this is what Satan has done on earth. Satan has severely corrupted humanity to the point of no return. You know, now somebody said some women are pedos too, and that is true. I did not ask how many women are pedos because I didn't want to know, but it's not 60% of women are pedos. Actually, I can ask right now. What percentage of women are either pedophiles or involved in pedophilia in some way, shape, or form? Only 10% or less. So not very many women, you know, not very many women. So, all right. So now let's talk about the Vatican again. We're going to go back. So Yeshua said he is removing, and this stuff blew my mind. He is removing the seal from the Vatican archives so that humanity will be able to access the hidden history and information they have been keeping from us for 2,000 years. Yeshua is taking the Ark of the Covenant back to Sirius B, where it came from. It is too dangerous to give to the 3D humans because it is a weapon. It is 1,000 times more powerful than any nuclear weapon you can imagine. It's a very powerful weapon. It destroyed cities. It leveled cities in like a blink of an eye when they would use it. Okay. It is a weapon that came from Sirius B. So Yeshua is taking the Ark of the Covenant back to Sirius B where it came from because it's too dangerous for people on Earth for humans to have. All right. Especially because there's so much corruption. Only the original Pope. So the original Pope who was killed in 2018, he had the code to get into those archives. And when he was killed, that code died with him. They have not been able to access, the White Hats could not access those specific archives. And the reason why is because the actor who was put in his place did not have the codes. Only the real Pope had the codes, but because he was executed, nobody else had the codes. So that is why Yeshua removed the seal. Do you understand that? He had to go in and remove it because otherwise nobody would have ever gotten a hold of that information. Nobody. Because it was sealed in vaults that were like lead vaults that were so thick that probably a nuclear bomb would have to be used, and then that would kill everybody in Rome, right? So here's what he said. He said only the original Pope had the code to get into the archives where all the powerful ancient relics and knowledge were kept. They had the Ark of the Covenant, and they also had the original 777 original books of the Bible that were distorted. The Pope that was killed in 2018 and replaced with the Cabal actor the original did not give the codes to anyone to get into the vaults or archives. And then he said, yes. And he said, I am doing this today on 4/22. So on 4/22, today is 4/25. On April 22nd, he did this. He removed the seal on April 22nd. So as of April 22nd, the White Hats have access to the Vatican vault and archives now. He said only the Alliance will have access to these vaults and archives. They're the only ones that will have access to them. Okay. He said, he said, I want everyone to have a party, and he called it a Yeshua party. He said, I want everyone to have a Yeshua party because we are at the end of the military operation to take the earth back from the Draco reptilians and the Satanists. That's what he said.
That sounds like really good news.
Huh?
I said, that sounds like really good news.
Yeah, he said he wants everybody to have a party because we're at the end of the military operation to take the earth back from the Dracos and the Satanists. Now let's move on to another subject. There is a guy spreading fear porn all over the internet that the atmosphere had some large hole in it for 9 minutes that was making everybody sick and killing people, and that this hole is going to expand and they're going to open up everywhere, and that we're all going to die and it's the end of the world and we're all going to be destroyed and we're all in danger. And it was just a giant fear porn post. Mm-hmm. Yeshua said that that's just a lie. It's all fear porn, not to pay any attention to it. He said we are very safe and protected. We have millions of ET ships up there monitoring everything. The atmosphere, he said, is there to protect us. And he said, your atmosphere, Kimberly, is still there. It's still protecting you. Do not worry. Do not fear. Okay. So any of these assholes saying that, anybody who says that there was some big giant, there's these giant holes being punched everywhere in our atmosphere and that we're all going to die and the earth's going to end any day now, bunch of bullshit. Okay. So let's see. He said he's going to put some signs up, probably in the sky, I'm guessing, to show everyone that we are now moving into the fourth density. The planet is moving into fourth density from third density. So he said he's going to put some signs up everywhere to show everyone that we're moving into the fourth density, so people will know it. So that's important to look for. So look for signs and wonders. It even said that in the Bible, to look for signs and wonders. And you will feel it. You will actually physically start to feel that our vibration is changing and that we're shifting. And I'll be honest with you all, I've had horrible indigestion and messed up stomach for the last 3 days. And I asked him why. And he told me it was good energy that he was giving me to upgrade my body. And he said I was purging a lot of trauma and a lot of crap for the collective. So I was purging a lot. Huh?
I said, you're not the only one that was having digestive upset the last few days. I have too.
Yeah, so that's because your body is being upgraded right now. So he wanted me to tell all of you, including you, Gail, he said, Yeshua is upgrading all light workers, all light warriors right now. Both your body and your light body are being upgraded to fifth density. If you're a light worker, you're being upgraded to fifth density. Because we were already fourth density. We didn't need to be upgraded to fourth. We were already fourth density. If you came in as a light warrior, you came in fourth density. You didn't come in third density. You came in fourth density. So we're being upgraded to fifth density. He told me this is going to take your body 3 to 6 months to adjust to it. He said if we upgraded you overnight, your body would explode. He said your physical body would explode. It wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah. So he said it's a very gradual, you're integrating it, but it's going to cause, what is it going to cause? Sleep disturbances, indigestion, upset tummy, maybe diarrhea, maybe constipation, headaches, dizziness, vertigo, ringing in the ears, weird sounds in your ears, could cause blurriness in your eyes. You could start seeing things. You're going to start to seeing things that weren't there before because we're starting to see past the veil now. So I'm starting to see interdimensional like objects and things that I couldn't see before. Excuse me. I'm starting to get more clairaudience. My clairaudience has been blowing up like crazy. One of the other things I developed is instead of having a out loud conversation with Yeshua, I am now able to telepathically communicate with him, which I wasn't able to do before, and now I can. I'm not able to do it with other people, but with him I am, because him and I have a special contract with each other. So that is important for everybody to know about those upgrades. And he said, now is the time to act goofy and silly and be like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. Play and have fun, create joy, laugh, do things that make your inner child sing with joy and happiness. This will help you raise your frequency and get more of that fifth density consciousness, which is basically heaven on earth. And he said that will help you integrate. And I have a, you guys can't see it, but right here to the right of me on my deck here, I have a pyramid that I sit in and meditate. And he told me that if you can ground yourself, he said the thing that will help you to integrate the 5D upgrade for the light workers is to walk barefoot on the grass, hug a tree, or meditate on the ground with your butt on the ground or on a rock. There's a big rock in my backyard that he likes me to meditate on, or under my pyramid. If you have a pyramid, it will help. It will help your body to, how do you want to say, integrate all the new codes. You guys are all getting codes put into you. I was sitting on the chair one day talking to him, and he said, Kimberly, I am giving you 5D light codes into your light body right now. He said, I'm putting 5D codes into your light body right now. And I'm like, okay. And then everything around me started vibrating like, woo! I mean, it was crazy. It was really crazy. Everything was vibrating. And now my light body is fully upgraded to 5D. My physical body is not fully 5D yet. It's partially 5D. I'm like, I don't know, 40% or more 5D, but I'm not 100% 5D yet. So my physical body is going to take 3 to 6 months, he said, to follow the light body. But all of you have had codes put into your light bodies if you're here as a light worker. Okay, you're going to start having more vivid dreams. You're going to start having visions. You're going to start having clairaudience, clairsentience, clairsmellience. You're going to start to smell things like smelling your grandma's perfume who's dead. You know, you're going to start to, the other day, somebody was visiting me from the other side, and I could smell them around me. And so you're going to start to get all of these abilities are going to start pouring into your being over the next 3 to 6 months. You're going to start getting back your past lifetime memories. I remember this memory of us standing on a mountain when I was there with Yeshua, and we were on this mountain and we're all wearing our white robes, and we were like raising our hands up and holding up these like crystals, like holding these big crystals up. And I started getting some extra memories that I didn't have before. So all of this stuff is going to start happening for all of you. And so he said the satanic humans are all going to be gone soon. All of the celebrities, all of the elites, all of the royals, all of the entertainers, and musicians, all the sports people, the sporting industry people, all the politicians, all the rulers, all their minions, judges, lawyers, politicians, all the traffickers, pedophiles, killers, you've all been issued warning from Yeshua the Christ. You are all going to be removed any day now. Any day, they're just gone. They're just effing gone, man. He said, it is the end of the satanic influence on earth. He said the Pope was a go sign. He said the Pope's death was a go sign. That is basically the beginning of the end for all these motherfuckers. They're all being removed. Now, let's talk about what he said happened on 4/22. On 4/22, he removed the seal. He said also he sent a bunch of flying reptiles. They had wings on them. They're like Draco reptilians that have these wings. They're really scary looking. Okay, they're huge. They're like 9-10 feet tall reptilian creatures with wings. You know, they almost look like a scary version of a dragon, an ugly version. He said that he sent them all to the hell prison place on Saturn. And I was like, Saturn? What the fuck? So what did he say? He said the planet Saturn is literally the biblical interpretation of hell. It's not a place where nice beings are. That is what they named Satan after. He said Satan was named after Saturn. He said Saturn is worshipped by all the Satanists, elites, royals, Draco reptilians, and major religious leaders in Islam, Catholicism, and Judaism. They all worship Saturn with the black box. They have the black box and then the Saturn worship and all that kind of stuff. He said they use the black box, like the one in Mecca. He said it is a basically a giant prison. The black box is used to siphon people's souls and trap their souls in it. So what they do to all of us humans on Earth, and when they rape the children, when they rape and torture the children, they siphon their life force energy and they trap it in black boxes. The black boxes are then used to power up the Draco reptilians and the demons. The demons use it as Lush and the Draco reptilians. So the black boxes are all bad. You have religious Jews that wear them on their foreheads. You've got the Islam people who walk around the big black box. That is all it's all satanic. It all has to do with Saturn. So apparently Saturn is basically hell. It's basically hell. Hell is not down under the earth. Under the earth, we have Agartha. There are all kinds of layers of cities and complexes and lands and even oceans. Basically, the movie Lord of the Rings showed you the truth. There's a whole other world inside of the earth with oceans and mountains and humans living down there, humanoids, giants, lots of giants, all kinds of different creatures living inside the earth. Dragons, dinosaurs, they all live in peace inside the earth. They can't stand us on the surface. They despise us. Why? Because they all live in 4 and 5D down there. They're all nice people. They all get along in there. We're the ones that are the Mordor. You know what they show you in Lord of the Rings with Mordor and all that, and all the reptilian looking creatures attacking everyone, and you know, the eye of Sauron and all that kind of crap. That's actually what happens here on the surface. The surface is hell. The inside of Agartha is not. The people that live in there actually are nice. But what is real hell? Real hell is the planet Saturn. The planet Saturn is actually hell. So he said those humans were programmed or brainwashed with fear-based systems. So he's talking about the Islamic people, the Jewish people, and the Vatican that worship all of this stuff. He said they were actually all programmed and brainwashed with fear-based systems, and they've been all the way down the line. So like all the people who are Muslim, all the people who are Catholic, all the people who are Christian too, a lot of the Christians, they've all been brainwashed with this fear-based programming. Okay, it's not love and unity, it's all fear, duality, separation. That's all they've been doing for 2,000 years now. It started 2,000 years ago. So he said the planet Saturn was being run by the Draco reptilians and the demonic entities, Satan, Lucifer, Baphomet, Baal, all those guys. They were running Saturn and the Earth. And they were using Saturn to siphon our energy, to siphon our Lush. They were using the moon. They were using Saturn. They had technology on the moon that was creating the false matrix. That's all been taken down and taken care of. We don't have it anymore. It's gone. Basically they turned the earth from a heaven into a hell thousands of years ago when Atlantis and all that fell and the Anunnaki took over. When the Anunnaki took over, they turned this place into an enslavement planet. They turned all of the humans that lived here into slaves. That's all shifting now. That's not going to be allowed ever again. It will never be allowed on our planet. Okay, next. The Galactic Federation has now taken over Saturn. He said Saturn is being run, Kimberly, by the Pleiadian military working for the Galactic Federation. Woo! So Saturn was being run by the Draco and all them, and they were using it to siphon humans, to siphon our Lush. Okay. They were also using it to trap our souls. They were using it to trap our souls and with their black boxes. And he said that now, guess what the Galactics are using Saturn for? They've turned it into a giant prison to hold all the bad guys on planet Earth. So as they are executing these bad guys, their souls are being scraped out of them, just like they did to us. They would do what's called soul scraping or soul scalping, where they would take your soul and they'd siphon it and imprison it in a matrix. Mm-hmm. They're doing the same thing. They've turned the what do you want to call it, around the shoes on the other foot now, because now when the Pope died, his soul got sucked out of him, and guess where it got sent?
Saturn,
exactly. Now, I said, Yeshua, how do you know who goes where? Like, who goes to Ezekiel's ship? Because Ezekiel's ship is being used to process souls that are leaving here as well. And then Saturn is being used. And then there's other things. And I said, how do you determine who goes where? He said, Yeshua, I sit on the mercy seat, which he said, Kimberly, you've talked about on your videos before that I told you about. He said, I sit on the mercy seat and I pass a judgment on them. They're going here, they're going there, they're going here. You know, he sorts them out. He's like the sorting hat in Harry Potter. So think of the sorting hat in Harry Potter. You go to Gryffindor, you go over here, you go to Slytherin. He's sending all the bad guys to Slytherin and all of the good ones to Gryffindor. So anyways, it's kind of funny how life imitates art. Anyways, let's see. I'm reading my notes here. He said he sits on the mercy seat and determines who's going to be obliterated and recycled back to source. So here's your three choices. Choice A is they get sent to Saturn, and that is for certain levels of bad guys get sent to Saturn. And that's like a hell. It's a rehab, but it's a hell prison is what it is, and a rehab for them. Certain people are going to be sent to the 3D planet after they're processed by Ezekiel. They will go to the 3D planet. Who are those? Those are all of your family members and friends that are not awake right now and have Trump derangement syndrome, totally fear-based, have taken multiple of the pokey pokies. Those people are all going to the third density planet where they will get to enjoy their dystopian nightmare for 26,000 years. So that's where they're going. So anybody who is a third density fear-based human will be going to the 3D planet. Anybody who is a pedo, a murderer, a rapist, a killer, a minion, a political ruler, a royal, they're going to Saturn depending on how evil they are. If they are truly like the top of the cream of the crop evil ones, those are being obliterated completely. They don't get to exist ever again, and they are recycled back to source. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So now one other thing that we wanted to talk about that Yeshua and Miriam and I, the three of us, are upset about because I talked to both of them. They're always together. Miriam and Yeshua, they're always together. So when I'm talking with them, I'm talking to with both of them. Sometimes one of them will speak to me. Sometimes the other one. Miriam is not too happy with the fact that everybody keeps posting pictures of her all over social media in a red dress. So let me explain this to you. The reason that they depict her in a red dress is to try to make her look like a prostitute. They lied that she was a prostitute. Back 2,000 years ago, you only wore a red dress if you were a prostitute. Nobody else wore red dresses back then. People who think they did are totally stupid. I'm sorry. You guys are ignorant. You need to go do, I have a degree in fashion design. And part of my degree is I had to study the history of fashion going all the way back to biblical times. I know exactly what they wore back then. Red dye and red dresses were kept for women who were whores and prostitutes because the scarlet letter, or the scarlet letter, A for adultery, was put on adulterers, and the scarlet color represented prostitution and being a whore. Mary, or Miriam of Magdala, was never a whore or a prostitute. She is the divine partner of Yeshua the Christ. The only person she's had sex with is him. They were in a divine Hyros Gamos relationship. They were married when she was a teenager. And she wears a white robe. Now, when she was alive, she would wear blue, or she would wear beige, or she would wear a greenish color, or she would wear white when she was walking the earth. But she earned the white robe when she graduated from the Essene mystery schools, just like Yeshua did. And from that point forward, all they wear is a white robe. That's all they wear. And when they come to myself and to Michaela and to all my friends who actually talk to the real Yeshua and Mary, not false light holographic bullshit images of them, they are in a white robe, not a effing red dress. And this is, I'm a human, so I still have anger and I still have emotions, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'm not better than anyone else. And so I get a little pissy when I see them displaying her in the red dress, because they're basically confirming to the population and mind controlling everybody to believe that she's a prostitute. And that's not okay. So any of you people who keep posting pictures of Miriam of Magdala in a red dress, you are perpetuating this whole story that she is a prostitute. Get her out of the damn red dress. Take her picture, use AI on it, and stick her in a white robe, because that is what she wears now. She wears the white robe. She doesn't wear a red dress. Okay? So I just wanted to tell you all that. Now, the last thing that he wanted me to share with you before I open this all up for questions, let me make sure I covered everything. One more thing I wanted to say. Klaus Schwab stepped down the same day that the Pope was killed. All right. At the age of 88 years old, and did 55 years of service. What does 55 represent? Change. Represents change. 88. What does 88 represent? Trump. Okay. So we have both Klaus, and the real Klaus, he's gone. The real Klaus, he's gone. He's not even in existence anymore. I wanted to point that out. Okay, so last message from Yeshua. He says, if you want to stay here on Earth and not get booted off the planet, you need to be doing service for others every day. Now, what does that mean? For Gail, it means taking care of her disabled son, because she has a disabled son. And so that is service for others. Service for others means taking care of people other than yourself. So if you're only focused on me, and you're being a narcissistic egomaniac, and you're not helping other people somehow, it can be your children, it can be your spouse, it can be your dependents.
I like to think that the work that I do is service to others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The work you're doing. But I'm just saying, I'm giving you as an example for the people out there. Yeah. So for you out there who say, Kimberly, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool my kids and I don't have time to go out and feed the homeless and do this and do that, or do what I do, doing all my videos and interviews. This is all my free service to humanity when I'm teaching. When I'm sitting and getting messages for you all from Yeshua and giving it to you, that's my service to humanity. I don't make a dime for my time doing this. It doesn't help me at all. None of this helps me. I'm here to help you. I'm doing it to be a mouthpiece for Yeshua to help you. That's my service to humanity. Now, if you are somebody like a stay-at-home mom, like I used to be one, where I was busy with my children 24/7, taking care of the home, taking care of the husband. My kids are now 25 and 27, but when they were little, I was a homemaker, right? That is service for others too. Why? Because you are caregiving for somebody. You're taking care of somebody. So that is still service for others. Service for others can be opening a door for a grandma lady at the grocery store. It can be helping somebody who dropped something on the ground. It can be letting your neighbor borrow your garden hose because theirs is broken. It can be anything that you think of that is outside of yourself, where you are selflessly doing something to be of service to someone other than your damn self. So if you're sitting in your own little narcissistic world of me, I don't care about anyone. I'm walking down the street of New York City where it's all NPC people and stepping over dead bodies everywhere. I don't care. You know, somebody passes out right on the ground in New York City. Everybody will just ignore them and take photos with people will videotape it on their cell phone, and not one person will call 911 or try to help the person because they're all a bunch of narcissistic, self-involved NPC people. Seriously. Now, not all the New Yorkers are that way, because I have several New Yorkers that are my clients. And I know for a fact there is a percentage of New Yorkers who are light warriors. And there's a percentage of New Yorkers that aren't light warriors, but they're nice, decent human beings with a soul. But there is a large percentage of those people that are NPCs, and they don't give a flying fuck about anybody except themselves. So he said this info is for the able-bodied and able-minded people. Okay, so if you yourself are disabled, you're a drug addict, you're mentally ill, he said you get a free pass. You get a free pass. All right. So if you're handicapped, if you're disabled, if you're in a wheelchair, like my friend Medium Michaela, who talks with Yeshua because he's her brother. If you're somebody who's in a wheelchair like her, she's got cerebral palsy, you get a free pass for doing, things for others, because you can't even take care of yourself. Okay. So if you're somebody who can't even take care of yourself because you're in a hospital bed, or you're disabled, or you're mentally retarded, or you're developmentally disabled, or you have mental illness, or you're a drug addict, those people will all get to stay here, and they will all get healed. They will all be healed. All those people will be healed when we have the purification event. Everybody will get healed. Okay. But if you are an able-bodied, able-minded person, and you don't start doing things for others outside of yourself every day, you will not be ascending with this planet. You will be going to the third density planet, where you will be locked down for 26,000 years of bullshit, just like we've been going through here. So that is the last message. And party like it's 1999, because it's the end of the effing cabal on this planet, and all the evil is getting ended. So, cuestiones, por favor. What questions do you have?
So basically, he's saying then that probably in the next 3 to 6 months, a lot of things are going to be totally different.
By the end of this year, everything's going to be totally different. By the end of this year, the purification event is going to happen. And when that happens, you're going to wake up in the morning with 70% of the people gone. Like gone. They won't be here anymore.
Just disappear?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean,
but we will have extraterrestrials here helping us. Now, when I say disappear, their physical body may still be here. The soul that was in that body won't be there. A lot of the people are going to get walk-ins of extraterrestrials who will be helping rebuild the planet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's going to be a lot of people who their physical body will get taken out. And then there's going to be a lot of people where the physical body will get a walk-in of a high-level extraterrestrial who will use that body to help the earth to create our new golden age.
So now that would be somebody who wasn't awake, and then all of a sudden they got a walk-in, and they're a totally different person.
Yeah. So like I was told, I'm going to wake up one morning and my husband's going to have a walk-in. So yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Because he's refusing to wake up. He wants to stay mind controlled for the rest of his life. So yeah, so he'll be leaving. His soul will be leaving. His body will be staying.
Wow. Okay. Well, that might be a relief to hear for some people to hear who are dealing with, a partner that just, like you said, refuses to wake up, and then all of a sudden they'll be awake.
Yeah, they're gonna wake up all right. They're gonna wake up on another 3D planet where they'll have their mind erased every year again, and they'll get to live their dystopian nightmare of everybody killing each other and blah 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 blah, all that yucky stuff.
Here's a question for you. Yeshua said it will take 3 to 6 months for our human bodies to acclimate to 5D energy. Does that mean the first wave of purification won't be for 3 to 6 months?
No, the first wave will come in. It could come in any time between now and the end of the year. They don't know when the purification. This is two separate things. The purification is going to heal everybody, and it's going to heal the planet, and it's going to remove all of the crappy people. So all of the dark energy, all the demons, all the ghosts will be going. Any haunted house you live in, the ghosts will be out of here. The archons will be out of here. The parasitic entities will be out of here. The demons will be out of here. The cabal people, the reptilians will all be out of here. Any grays that are hiding, any mantids, any negative extraterrestrial races that have bases under the earth where they're hiding or under the ocean, they will all be out of here. And everything will be healed. Your body will be healed. Everything will be healed. But the upgrade will not happen instantaneously, because if they instantaneously upgrade your physical to a light, more of a crystalline light body kind of thing, it will kill you. And we don't want to do that. So that will be a gradual process. Does that make sense?
That being said, where does that put med beds?
Med beds will be for the people who aren't in the first wave. The first wave of people who get transformed to 5D and all that kind of thing, we're the ones who are going to get all of this good stuff. The rest of the people won't. So the med beds will be there. He told me the med beds are going to be there for the people who are still in 4D, not 5D. So we'll be sharing the earth with 4D people. It'll be 4D and 5D. The light warriors, there's only 200,000 of us going to 5D. That's it. Okay. There's only 200,000 of us going to 5D in the first round. The rest of the humans are going to need med beds. We will not. We're going to have superpowers. We're going to be like the Avengers, or that movie, The Eternals. They showed you the truth, with Athena and all the gods. Yeah, that's going to be the 200,000 people who go in the first round. The ones who go in the first round.
Somebody, New Englander wrote, said, what will happen to all the ghost hunting channels here on YouTube?
They won't exist anymore. There won't be a ghost hunter show anymore when we go to 5D, and
they won't be able to find any ghosts.
It's all part of the negative programming anyways, because what's really evil, don't get me started, man. I'll tell you, I will sit on a high horse for hours about this. Every one of those ghost hunting shows piss me the heck off. Why? Because they are going into these houses and agitating the ghosts and harassing them and stirring things up. And they are not helping them to cross over. They don't do a damn effing thing to help those people. Those are humans that are separated from their bodies, and they're not doing anything to help them. All they're doing is harassing them and exploiting them. They're exploiting them all over the TV for everybody, making money off of those poor people who lost their lives and are stuck, trapped in the matrix without a body. How horrible is that? What kind of a horrible person would do such a thing? They are horrible humans. Those people who do the ghost hunter shows, they are horrible human beings, because when Sarah, my BFF, Sarah Nash, who is a very famous psychic medium, when her and I go into haunted buildings together, we cross the people over, okay? We cross them over. We rescue them. She's a rescue medium. That's what she does, okay? All of these ghost hunter shows, if they wanted to do a service to humanity, they would go into the house, they would find the ghosts, and then they would cross them over with love. They would give them love. They would give them nurturing and support them, and they would cross their asses over to where they belong. They would not go in there and antagonize these poor human beings that are missing a body. I get so freaking angry about that. How would you and I like it if we were stuck in ghost form and these guys came in And instead of helping us, we're crying out for help. We're like, help us. We're stuck. What do? We don't know what to do. We're stuck. And instead of you ghost hunter people coming in and helping us to cross over, you're antagonizing us, exploiting us. I mean, how effing evil is that? That's evil. I'm sorry. That's not okay. I'm having a hot flash, by the way. Good old menopause stuff. Anyways. Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Gail.
Sorry, I muted myself because I had to cough.
Oh.
Anyway, speaking of temperature changes are happening within our body. Like I'll be cold, and then all of a sudden I'll be hot, and then I'll be, and I'm way past menopause, so that's not any menopause. It's something that's related to the energetics on the planet right now. What?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I was reading somebody's thing. What did you say about stuff? About something about being energetic on the planet. I was reading people.
Well, the energies on the planet have been causing it within people. Their temperature regulation seems off. Like they'll get hot, they'll get cold.
Well, that's actually what I'm going through. Yeah,
and then I'm not talking about menopause though.
No. Okay, so let's talk about this. I have clients in their 20s having constant hot flashes and sweats and then chills.
Yes.
In their 90s. I have clients in their 90s. I have clients in their 80s, 70s who come to me. I have men coming to me saying they're having hot flashes and sweating all the time and then chills. And these are men. Okay. I went to 3 doctors, had them test my hormones because I went through menopause 12 years ago. And because I'm going to be 60, believe it or not, this year, I went through menopause at age 48. And I went through all the hot flashes and everything. And then they went away. They were gone. And then all of a sudden they came back 5 years ago. And so I went to all these doctors and I said, what the hell? They tested all my hormones. And you know what they said? They said, they shook their head and go, we don't understand why you're having hot flashes based on your hormones and your age and when you went through menopause. They're like, you should not be having this, and we have no explanation for it. And I went out of their office laughing because I know that it's ascension symptoms. It's ascension symptoms, plain and simple. You know, our bodies are ascending, and you can get chills one day. I when I first started going through ascension, I was having shaking chills for days on end, where I have the chills like you do when you have a high fever or a cold. I didn't have a fever. There was nothing wrong with me, but I was shaking. This was back in 2019, 2020, somewhere around then, 2021. I would have several days in a row where I was just freezing and shaking with chills. And that was because my body was getting all these codes and upgrades and crazy stuff happening. So, and somebody said indoctrinated doctors. All the doctors are indoctrinated. They're indoctrinated by the cabal, Rockefeller medical system, which is all about keeping you sick, keeping you on their expensive drugs, and killing you as soon as possible.
So they're going to be held. They're going to be held accountable too, correct?
Okay, so you all need to hear this. If the purification event happens before they're held accountable, they're all just going to disappear. They're going to be disappeared. Everybody part of that system is going to be disappeared. If the purification event happens before they are held accountable, but you all, I know you've been complaining about why aren't there any trials? Why aren't there any arrests? The reason why is because the judges are all corrupt too, and they have to clear out all the corrupt judges before they can bring in the
whole system is corrupt. It's admiralty law, and they're continuing to try to perpetuate it. They're not changing it to common law, which is more fair at the very least.
Yeah. Now I want to point out, not all judges or attorneys are bad. I know several personally. I know a bunch of judges and I know a bunch of attorneys. They're all really nice people, and they have really high values. They voted for Trump. They're really good people, but there are some baddies out there. There's good and bad in everything. Just remember that. In all walks of life, there's good and bad.
Well, as heavily infested as this planet is with Satanism, I think the bad outweighs the good. They used to always say that there's more good than bad. I don't think so. I think there's more bad than good. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Somebody said they're on 6 medications and they help. Well, that's shocking because they all come with millions of side effects. You know what? There are a few diseases and things where you don't have a choice. You have to be on medication. Okay. If you have seizures, for example, if you have diabetes, for example, you need your insulin, especially type 2. There's no cure for type 2. There's a lot of diseases that have no cure. Those people need medications. The problem is they've weaponized a lot of the medications. They're putting graphene oxide in them. They're putting aluminum in them. They're putting mercury in they're putting all kinds of, they're putting nanochips in a lot of this stuff. So it's not that drugs are bad. It's what they've done with the drugs that's bad. There's a lot of people who need to take meds, if they have a heart, like for example, I know people who, if they didn't take their nitrobid or whatever it's called, their nitroglycerin, they'd have a heart attack and they'd be dead. So, I mean, there's reasons why you have to take medication, but when we move into 4 and 5D, when the planet becomes 4 and 5D, there will not be a drug or pharma industry on the earth anymore. It will be annihilated with the purification. The whole medical system will be gone. It'll be gone. Wolf Mother said cardiac medication is necessary. And I agree. Absolutely. Blood pressure medication. If you have high blood, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to take it. However, there's a lot of reasons to not take medications. For example, if you have migraine headaches, you can cure migraine headaches, by the way. You have to know what the root cause is. If the root cause is, did you know that 90% or more of migraine headaches are caused by magnesium deficiency? So all you have to do is take magnesium for a couple of months and your migraines will go away. If you have bladder leakage, you can do pelvic floor training and all kinds of stuff for that so that you don't have bladder leakage. I mean, I'm going through all that. I have a lot of pelvic, prolapse and all that, and I'm fixing it. I'm doing therapy and all that. You don't need to take drugs for everything. You go into the doctor's office and it's, here's a drug, here's a drug, here's a drug. I'm unhappy. Here's a drug. They want to drug you to death. You don't need them for everything.
They destroy your enzyme systems in your body too. Every single one of them in one way or another. Yeah. Unfortunately. And also the other thing that happens is they take certain drugs will make you have to take other drugs to counteract the side effects of the drug that they gave you. That's very common too. So,
they did that to me. They put me on a drug that gave me 50 billion side effects, and then they had to give me a bunch of other drugs to counteract all the side effects. And now I haven't been using meds the only med I use is once in a while, if my body hurts really, really bad, I use naproxen or I use Advil or I use aspirin. But that's if I'm in excruciating pain and I can't even stand myself. The kind of pain where you're going to throw up. You got to take something. You can't just,
I feel so blessed and thankful that I don't have any serious health things of that nature that I'm aware of anyway.
Yeah. So for anyone watching right now, if you're on meds, don't go throwing your meds away, because by all means, keep taking them, but just keep in mind that in the future, you will not need them anymore in the future when everything transitions on the earth. So just know that the drugs are temporary. They're a temporary solution. You won't need to be on them the rest of your life.
Yeah. So they always only deal with symptoms and they don't deal with the root cause of the problem in the first place. And that's they don't ever look for the root cause, and they don't even ever test for toxins.
Nope.
And that's a problem right there. So
no, a big problem is heavy metals, toxins. Like if you're full of arsenic, lead, cadmium. I mean, I went and had tests and found out I had a bunch of lead and cadmium and arsenic in my body. And so I've been just detoxing.
Yeah. They've been spraying it in the skies. It's in our food. It's in our water. Mm-hmm. It's everywhere. I just found out that the water in a town that I may move to is fluoridated. And I go, oh my God, you're still fluoridating with water? Are you kidding me? I thought that was going to be stopped. It needs to stop entirely. It affects children's IQ. it's been proven over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And we still have it being put in the water supply. It's just ridiculous. It's insane.
Yeah. The other thing is since they started giving people statins in the United States, all of a sudden Alzheimer's and dementia showed up. Your brain is made out of cholesterol, and all of the wiring in your brain is made out of cholesterol. And if you don't have cholesterol in your body a certain amount, then you get dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and all these diseases. And that is from lowering your cholesterol too much. So and did you know that emergency room doctors said that half of the people who have heart attacks have extremely low cholesterol and half have high cholesterol? Because high cholesterol doesn't have a damn thing to do at all with the heart attacks. It has to do with your particle size. There's these particles, I can't remember the number for it. It's in your your A1C level, and your what's the other level? The the apolipoprotein. Okay, so I have something to share with you all. My husband, his father passed away from congestive heart failure, and so my husband, it runs in the family. And my dad passed away from congestive heart failure. My husband has been OCD about researching the hell out of how to keep your heart healthy, how to extend your life, how to lower your cholesterol. And what we found out is that your LPA is what you need to worry about. LPA. So you get your blood tested. You want to have your LPA tested because that is what tells you if you're going to have a heart attack or not. All right. So the high cholesterol in and of itself isn't what causes the heart attack.
Well, and then indicators of high cholesterol is that your body is trying to detox is another thing that they
too. The other thing is being obese and overweight. Now, when you go to all of the blue zones in the world where people live to be 120 plus years of age, like Greece, Italy, Okinawa, Japan, the people are all slender. There are no fat people there. When you are obese, you're causing metabolic syndrome.
Well, obesity has been created, I think, in the United States by all the poisons in the food, by the GMO.
The fast food industry created it, the fast food industry. Because when you go to countries or places like Okinawa, Japan, or small islands in the Greek Mediterranean, they don't have any fast food there. When I went to Greece, the only place they had fast food is in the city of Athens, in the capital. They had like one fast food place. If you travel all over the country of Greece like I did, there's no fast food anywhere in that country, and everybody's slender. I didn't see one fat person the entire time I traveled through Greece. No fat people. Went to Italy twice. Saw the only fat people in Italy were the German tourists and the American tourists. The Italian people I saw were not fat. Went to France 2 times, and none of the French people that I saw there were fat. They were all slender. They eat Mediterranean diet down there. They use olive oil and butter and grass-fed everything. They grow all their own non-GMO produce.
They actually have warning signs, I heard. I haven't seen them because I haven't had the opportunity to travel overseas. But I heard that where you buy American food, there's actually a warning sign about chemical additives. Because there's 10,000 different chemical additives in American food and water, and there's about 400 in European. So they are slamming us with stuff that they know is bad for us.
Somebody asked if LPA is the same as LDL. No, those are 2 totally different things.
Oops, I put up the wrong one.
LPA is a special test. LPA is a special test that you have to take, and it's different from LDL and HCl.
What is it measuring? I don't. What is it measuring? Because
lipoprotein A. Lipoprotein A. That will determine if you're going to have a heart attack. If you have bad lipoprotein A, you will have a heart attack. Yeah. Yeah. Everything in the United States is toxic because the cabal wants to kill Americans. They hate us. They absolutely hate us. They want to kill all of us.
We're too freedom oriented.
They don't want us to be free. They want mind-controlled slaves, and the people in Europe who are under socialistic regime, France and Italy, all of those countries, if you look, especially the Scandinavian countries, are socialistic, and the people are all a bunch of mind-controlled robots. They like those people, so they leave them alone, and they're not going to poison them because they're nice little robots that do. And the same in the Asian countries, all the people are taught to be nice little compliant robots in all the Asian countries, so they're going to leave them alone. But Americans, we want freedom and we won't listen to anybody, and we march to the beat of our own drummer. So they're like, oh, we can't have that. We're going to poison all of you.
Too many rebels.
Exactly. We're very rebellious. We're naturally rebellious. Tim Potter said they hate Europeans too. They hate the free-thinking Europeans. They hate the free-thinking Europeans. The one that go along with all the dictator baloney, they love them.
There's a big problem too that's just been identified more recently, and that is microplastics. And I did a short video on that. It's worth knowing about it because that's causing a lot of our problems.
That will kill you. It will kill you. In fact, the cancer rate and all the diseases and the autoimmune disorders have gone through the roof with the explosion of all the microplastics. They're finding them in the brains of humans. They said that there are men's semen is being fully replaced with microplastics, and also with mRNA, that men's semen is being replaced with mRNA and microplastics. That's great.
And Pfizer just came out. Hope Girl, I don't know if you've heard of her, but she just came out with an article that Pfizer, the documents saying that men that have been vaxxed should not have intercourse with a woman who has not been vaxxed.
I agree with that. However, what do you do when you're in a marriage, when you're a light warrior in a marriage with a multiple vaxxed person? You're not going to tell your husband, sorry, you can't have any. That's not going to work very good. So you have to detox your body and protect yourself. That's all you can do. Protect yourself and detox. Angelic protection. Every day, call in the angelic protection.
I'll just read. Will there be a replay? Yes, there will be a replay. It'll be on YouTube and Rumble and all these other channels listed. It takes a little time sometimes to process before you can actually watch it again. But it'll be available again.
Whoever CM is, I feel so bad for you about your husband and your husband too. I feel so sad that they gave him some sort of a cocktail of drugs that gave him diabetes. That is awful. That is so sad.
That kind of thing happens a lot. And that's what I was talking about. They give them certain drugs that'll raise the blood sugar, certain drugs that'll raise the cholesterol. And then they want to have to give them these other drugs in order to counteract the side effects from the drugs they gave them in the first place. It's like, there's got to be a better way. And I know that there is. And there are natural ways, herbal ways that have been suppressed and kept from people. Just like there's healing tech that's been kept from people too. It's all going to change though. It's all going to change. Okay.
Oh, she said he passed. I am so sorry for you, dear. Wow. That is just awful. Oh, wow. That is just, I am sorry. That is so awful.
Yes, it is.
The hospitals killed my father-in-law. They killed my father. They killed my father. They killed my father-in-law, and they killed my uncle. Making mistakes in the hospital. And then they killed my brother, my only sibling. I only had one sibling. He was my baby brother. And they murdered him 3 years ago with COVID protocols in the hospital.
They murdered my parents too.
Wow, I'm so sorry.
Both of them, they were in assisted living and they were giving them flu shots and they gave them the COVID shot. And I tried to tell my brothers and sister not to. And I just got a lecture about, they were helping them. Helping
Wow.
them to die.
Helping them to die, maybe. Yeah, they killed. My brother was quite a bit younger than me. He could have been on the earth another like 60 years, 50, 60 years. And they just snuffed his life out when he was still young. It's awful. Somebody said, in the EBS? No. The RV and the EBS may never happen. And if it does, we don't know when, and they won't tell me. They won't give me dates. And just so you all know, anybody who keeps giving you dates and saying next week this is going to happen, and on this date this is going to happen, they're all full of baloney. They don't know the dates of anything. As Yeshua says to me all the time, every time I try to pin him down, he says, sister, that there are too many moving parts and variables. There's too many moving parts and variables. Too many people, too many cooks working on the pot. There's too much going on. You can't give a date. You can't. Plus, if you give a date, then it gives the bad guys the chance to do something, right? To counteract it and prevent it from happening. So we're not going to ever tell you a date. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody's asking if cannabis lowers your vibration.
Only if you're getting high. If you're using crystal, I know Crystal. Hi, Crystal. If you use cannabis, like for example, for pain management, for cancer, as long as you're not using it with the intention of I'm going to just go get high, then it is very medicinal and very helpful. It's been around since biblical times. You can use CBD oil for all kinds of wonderful things. Just don't give it to your cat. I gave my cat CBD oil, which was the worst thing I ever could have done, and it made her have a seizure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, don't give CBD oil to your animals, because if you look it up online, one of the big side effects for animals of CBD is seizures. But for humans, I use CBD oil for myself. And if I'm having a day where I feel really anxious, I will use CBD and THC. And I have this wonderful roll up. I recommend the Black Dragon. If you all know what the Black Dragon is, it's in a roll up. It's black roll up thing. And you can rub it on your arms or anywhere on your body where you have pain. You have excruciating pain in your body. It's CBD and THC. It's got THC and it gives you a body high in the place that you put it, but it doesn't make your brain, it doesn't get to your brain. It doesn't make you high. It doesn't give you any hallucinogenic effects. It doesn't affect your brain at all, but you can rub it on your sore back and it'll make your back pain go away. And it's really awesome. I love the dragon stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot to be learned about cannabis, and there's a lot of old school programming and that still is with people, because it can be used very safely and helps with cancer. Actually can kill cancer cells. I've seen THC kill cancer cells, and that's what everybody worries about getting high over. And I just I think that's blown out of proportion. It's like, just because somebody smokes doesn't mean that. It's like saying if somebody has a drink, they get drunk. If somebody has smokes pot, they get high, or
and that's not true. And alcohol isn't true either. A glass of wine with resveratrol in it is really good for your heart. Talking about the heart, red wine, that was proven medically and scientifically all over the world. In countries where they drink a lot of red wine, they have really low heart rate problems with the heart, because the grapes are really good for you. And Yeshua turned water into wine at a wedding. Why would he do that if wine is bad for you? Why would he give everybody at a wedding wine purposefully if it was bad for you? He wouldn't. And that is because everything in moderation. If you get drunk or you get drugged up, then demons are waiting around you to hop into you and take your ass over. Okay? That's if you get drunk or drugged. All right. Now, if you smoke some marijuana and you're not getting all high and out of it, then you have nothing to worry about. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. If you're drinking a couple glasses of wine and you're not getting drunk, then you have nothing to worry about. When you worry about it is when you lose control over your mind. That's when the bad guys hop on you.
There are people that can actually see spirits, and they said that they've one of White Fox, who I interview, he says that he's been in bars and sees spirits just waiting for people.
They are.
It's
demons, not spirits. They're demons. I see them too. Mm-hmm. In fact, I got to tell you all this. I cannot enter any bar in the United States of America or anywhere in the world, any bar anywhere in the world, without doing a ton of angelic protection, bringing crystals. I have to bring special protection crystals, wear special jewelry, and I have to say prayers before I enter a bar because they are full of demons. Full of demons, and they are waiting to jump into the people who are drunk, the ones who are drunk. Yeah.
He's actually seen those spirits attached to, or demons, if you want to call them. I kind of consider it the same, but just a different form. Just waiting and seeing them attached to them once they drank too much, just sitting there waiting.
I'm a lightweight, so all I have is one glass of whatever, and that's it.
I don't even like the taste of alcohol, to tell you the truth.
I like some of it. Most of it I don't like. I like some of it. I mean, when I was in the south of France, I was having a glass of rosé with my dinner every night because it was wonderful. They have amazing rosé down in the south of France, but I'm not a big alcohol lover or drinker. I'm not a drinker. I only drink a couple times a year, honestly. Yeah.
This was kind of
Phil Donahue died. When did Phil Donahue die?
Evil died at 82. That's why I put it up there. I hadn't heard that either, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know Phil Donahue died. Okay,
you know, either. But then people have been dropping like flies. We don't even hear about half of it.
Yeah, well, 88 is Trump, so that probably means he was involved with the trafficking or the deep state somehow, or he's probably involved somehow with the bad guys.
Okay, I'm just going and seeing if we have any more questions. We're getting close to. We have about 10 more.
Okay.
If anybody has any more questions, I like to try to keep it to about an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yes. Yeshua. Somebody asked if the purification. Eileen said, "Did Yeshua say the purification's happening this year?" Yeah. So you all have to understand that this year is a 9-year in numerology. What does that mean? The end of freaking everything. It is the end of the religious bullshit, the end of the school system, the education systems, the end of the political systems, the end of the medical, the end of the financial systems, legal systems, even the food being all tainted. Yeah. It's the end of all of it this year. This is the end. Next year is a 1, which is beginnings, new beginnings. A 1 is new beginnings. Yeah.
So what about, does Yeshua say anything about the satanic buildings being hit with rods of God?
I've never talked to him about that. They keep saying that that's going to happen. He's told me that is like one possibility. There's different, like a lot of different, game plans that the Alliance. Okay. So that's part of the Alliance. The Alliance is a group of extraterrestrials working with Earth military. They have multiple game plans going on all at the same time, and they will play anyone based on what they need to play. Okay. The rods of God hitting the satanic buildings is one of the game plans. Whether or not they use it is up in the air right now because it depends on a lot of variables. There's so many moving parts right now. But that is a possibility. And somebody wanted to know, are allergies part of Ascension symptoms? No, allergy is an allergy. Ascension symptom is an Ascension symptom. If you have allergies like itchy, I have them. It is the spring right now if you're in the northern hemisphere, and my eyes are itching out of my head, and that's because I have pollen all around me that's going crazy. So that's just allergies, unfortunately.
There's a lot of that here too, because I have more runny nose
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
teary eyes than I had where I was before. So
Yeah.
I just noticed that substantially. But I'm also around a lot of forest and trees, and I love trees and the
Yeah.
forest.
Yep. And somebody was putting a post up saying that this is really the year 2012, not the year 2025. That's kind of interesting. And that's not really true.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's really the year like 2016 or something like that. If we were on the old calendar, which was the original calendar, the Julian calendar, if we were on the original Julian calendar that Yeshua had during his time, where there were 13 months in the year, I think this is supposed to be like the year 2016 or 17 or 19 or something like that. It's not supposed to be 2025.
Okay, here's maybe a question we can answer. Will our pets also change to crystalline bodies? Can they handle all the change?
Yeah, because when pets and animals come onto the earth when they're born, they come in fid density. They're already fid density, like they're already high, fourth fid density. They're already unconditional love. They're just 100% unconditional love. They have no ego. They have none of the things that human has that are preventing them from being crystalline. So yeah, they're going to transition way easier than we are. Way easier than we are.
That and children.
Yeah. And children, the little ones, they will transition lickety split, no problem. In fact, all the ones that have come in since 2012 are all ready to go. They are all ready to go.
Okay. I don't, if you see anything else you want to answer that I can't, it's not moving now. There we go. All righty. Well, any last words, Kimberly? I guess we could wrap it up unless you see another question you want to answer.
The biggest thing is what I said earlier. You really need to focus on that, which is he said to be like a child. He said, now is the time to act goofy, silly, be like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven, play, have fun, create joy, laugh, do things that make your inner child sing with joy and happiness, because this is going to raise your frequency. It's going to help you ascend quicker and easier. It's going to help you get more into that 5D consciousness. Make sure you're doing service for anybody else other than now you need to do self-care. There's a difference between taking care of your body and yourself and being a service to self person. A service to self person doesn't mean self-care. Service to self person means that you are a narcissist, that it's all about me, the world revolves around me, you're going to kiss my butt and do stuff for me, blah, blah, blah. Those are two different things, and like taking care of your actual self. And so make sure that you're doing self-care every day, really, really important, but you're also helping other people, even if it's just your children. Okay. Really, really important. And I am doing a summer solstice healing retreat online. I was supposed to be doing my women's retreat back east, and we had to shut it down because I was going to lose $20,000. So I can't do in-person retreats until I win some Service to Humanity project money, because it's just too much expensive to do that. So we're doing our retreat on the summer solstice weekend. We're doing a 2-day retreat that's 3 hours long each day. You can go to my website, spiritualgrowthjourneys.com, and it says webinar, and you can learn all about what we're teaching you. But I'm going to do a channeled guided meditation for the summer solstice that will help you heal your body, help you ascend into fifth density. I'm going to be teaching basic meditation. And then Sarah's going to be teaching about past lifetime stuff, reincarnation stuff. And Rosemary is going to be teaching a class. We're all going to be teaching classes. It's going to be awesome. So if you guys can come to our internet retreat, you can attend it from anywhere in the world on your phone, your computer, your iPad, whatever. We'd love to have you, and you're going to get some healing from me and Sarah and Rosemary, which is awesome. And Sarah is an amazing psychic medium, and Rosemary is an amazing animal communicator and healer, and also human healer. So that's about all I have. Just make sure you all are having fun and taking care of your bodies and being nice. Just be nice.
I think staying healthy right now is very important because of everything that we're going to be going through. And it is important to go within, as Yeshua has always told us for the longest time. To
go within.
Sit in nature. I mean, it helps a lot when you do that. It helps me a great deal. And I'd have to say, if there's anyone out there that's able to help, I am going through a lot of very difficult time here. I sure wish they would release some funds or raise Social Security, because I may go off for a while, but usually something always comes through. So that's what I'm counting on, having faith. It's all good. So, but if you're able to, I would really appreciate it. So that being said, I guess all we can say is stay in the light, be happy, find your joy, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gail. I love you. You are awesome. You're a beautiful angel of light. Thank you.
I love you too, Kimberly. Thank you. We'll see you all again. Bye, everyone.
Have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely